guys and gals? Welcome to the Week 7 match of the Fuchsia City Greninjas. Today we play Zayden of I believe the White Forest Flygons. Not gonna lie, as I mentioned in the team builder, I'm feeling pretty confident about this match because a lot of my Pokemon have good matchups versus pretty much everything of his, specifically Mamoswine and Infernape, so I'm hoping this isn't going to be a total blowout and me overestimating everything, but I'm feeling pretty confident that I have most of his sets predicted. The Golurk is almost guaranteed going to be packing Earthquake and Dynamic Punch with a No Guard variant. Maybe having Rocks, but I don't know if he might put Rocks on it. Jirachi is almost definitely a Choice Scarf set with Iron Head. Probably Zen Headbutt for Mega Venusaur, and also probably U-Turn. Cresselia is going to be a physically bulky variant, likely with Thunder Wave and probably Psychic for Mega Venusaur. Maybe Dazzling Gleam, expecting the Scrafty or something. Tentacruel will be a Spinner Special Defense, probably with Toxic and Scald. Mega Lopunny, I imagine, is going to have an Elemental Punch of some type, along with Stabs and Fake Outs. And then Arcanine is probably the only toss-up. Definitely Intimidate, but after that, Physical, Special, not a clue. He is using the timer, which is alright with us because I don't expect to have to make too many complicated plays here. I know he plays fast, so a lot of this is going to be at my pace. Now, he knows that I lead Mamoswine quite often in my matches, which means Jirachi is an interesting lead, so specifically because Scarf Iron Head can actually demolish my Mamoswine and outspeeds. So I'm actually going to lead Scarf Infernape, specifically because it has a good matchup versus just about everything on his team, and it actually does quite a number to Jirachi. It outspeeds Jirachi, because Jirachi is only base 100 and mine's base 108 Jolly, so I'll be able to outspeed with Flare Blitz, seeing as we're both Scarfed. He does go to Golurk, which is fine because we can just as easily U-turn into Dusknoir here. So I'm actually fine with just straight up U-turning into Dusknoir. I don't think I need to think too much about this play. He could go Rocks, he could go Earthquake, or he could go Dynamic Punch. He'll probably be hesitating on the Dynamic Punch. He does look ahead a little bit. As I watch some of his other videos, he does tend to try and predict a little bit, so he might not go with Dynamic Punch knowing that I have Dusknoir. He might try and go for something like Earthquake. So we'll see how he goes. He does have Colbur Berry. We predicted Dynamic Punch. Colbur Berry is interesting, so he definitely was predicting some type of Scrafty type stuff to come in. So Shadow Sneak could do quite a number to Golurk. However, I kind of want a Will-O-Wisp, simply because his main options for switching in here are going to be either A, Arcanine, B, Tentacruel, or C, Mega Lopunny. And Will-O-Wisp takes care of Mega Lopunny, pretty much renders it completely useless. Burn damage on Tentacruel isn't the worst, especially since I can Earthquake it afterwards. And if Arcanine comes out expecting the Will-O-Wisp, that's fine. I can just easily Earthquake it after. So he does get up Rocks. We get up the Burn and pretty much neuter Golurk entirely. From here, we're just going to go Shadow Sneak. I don't think I have to think too much about this play. It's super effective damage. There's no reason why I have to worry too much. Now, we didn't bring Defog, so he did correctly decide to go for Rocks. I don't think it's going to be a huge problem, though. Tornadus can get around Rocks because of Regenerator, and Mamoswine, I'm not running a Focus Sash set this time. I'm running a fast Expert Belt set, so assuming I can get rid of the Jirachi and the Mega Lopunny, Mamoswine can actually clean up this entire team, with the exception of Cresselia. Cresselia can stall it out if it has Toxic. If it doesn't have Toxic, then I just straight up beat it. Oh, so he is a fully, as we expected, a defensive Cresselia. I wonder if he's going to go for some type of paralysis here. It would be interesting if he went for Thunder Wave, because I almost want to go Mamoswine predicting Thunder Wave. Fully defensive set with Mamoswine, even with no HP investment or no special defense investment, is still a 3-hit KO on Psychic. So assuming that he's Thunder Waving here, Mamoswine actually just straight up beats it, because I have knockoff into double Earthquake. I outspeed it and 3-hit KO it before it kills me. So I almost want a Mamoswine here. Yep, so we predict the Thunder Wave expertly. Now with our expert belt, we are going to just straight up knock off here. Nothing on his team really wants to take a knockoff, with the exception of Mega Lopunny. Now he could predict the worst possible scenario for this would be if he went straight into Mega Lopunny here. Now knockoff's not really that common on Mamoswine. He might be expecting something like an ice move and might want to go into something like Tentacruel, in which case knocking out Black Sludge would be nice. The other option he could do is just stay in and maybe Moonlight and see what I'm going to do and fire off a Psychic or something. He could Calm Mind too, but I mean, I'm not worried about Calm Mind. Knockoff is just a good straight up move that hits a lot of his team very well. I doubt he's going to switch into Jirachi, although he might. Okay, so he did Lopunny, which was very good on his part. Now he could Fake Out here, in which case that would be something he could do. Infernape would be my play to do for that then. He might go straight up into a fighting type move. That would be pretty good on his part, but Infernape outspeeds. It definitely can't kill me even with a return, and especially not with a Drain Punch. I know he's not running High Jump Kick, but because he hates High Jump Kick and he hates the low accuracy of High Jump Kick, so he's going to be running Drain Punch. And if I get hit with a Drain Punch on Infernape, I'll definitely be able to live and then kill with close combat. So if we take the Fake Out here, that's fine. Okay, Fake Out did a ton of damage, but I don't think he realizes that I'm Scarf. So I'm going to fire off a straight up close combat here. If he, for some reason, expects that I'm Scarfed here, which, you know, could happen, from here we can just straight out U-turn back into, or not, sorry, not U-turn. We could go into Vaporeon here, or Mamoswine again. If we go into Mamoswine and he Thunderbolts us, or like, I'm sorry, if he Psychics us, not the worst. We'll take about 40% damage, so after rocks we'll be about half health. Now we do have Vaporeon to Wish Pass, so we could do that and just force it out again. This time going with something like an Icicle Crash to hit the Mega Lopunny. Yep, so there's a Psychic, and like I said, we'll go to about half here. Now, it does have Levitate, so we have to go with something like Icicle Crash. I think he's going to switch again into Lopunny, so being able to just go straight into an Icicle Crash, because he knows I have knockoff here. I've shown knockoff, and he knows I might want to knock off again. So, okay, so he stays in, goes for the Psychic. From here, I almost want to let Mamoswine go down, but at the same time I don't. The problem is I don't have a way to get rid of hazards, and if I bring him in, he takes 12% damage and immediately dies. So even Wish Pashing doesn't really do anything here. So I'm going to knock off and get his leftovers off, and then come back in with Tornadus Therian and Dark Pulse it off. So that was kind of a misplay on my part. I almost expected the Psychic. Okay, so he actually let me get a free knockoff on that. He's probably trying to preserve the leftovers on Cresselia. Arcanine could outspeed here. So Ice Shard is tempting, but I think I'm going to Earthquake in case he does something like Morning Sun. Oh, so he's a slow Arcanine. So we'll take the free kill. which is excellent for us. I love that. I really expected him to be a faster Arcanine, but he might have been just a bulky variant. He could Fake Off here for the easy kill, so since Fake Out has higher priority than Ice Shard, I'm just going to straight up Earthquake, and if he Fake Outs to kill, that's fine. So, from here we're going to go... Tornadus is tempting, but Return does quite a number. I could go Scarf Infernape again, and just U-turn straight out. I could also go Dust Noir. I am bulky enough with Dust Noir, and I could Brick Break him to kill him. That is also tempting, I'm not going to lie. Especially since I could Will-O-Wisp. Well, the thing is, if I go Dust Noir, he has to expect the Will-O-Wisp, so he might go into Golurk, and if that's the case, then Brick Break is nullified, and I'll actually kind of lose a little bit there. So, I think I'm just going to go Tornadus. I'm fairly certain I can live here, so I'm going to just straight up Air Slash. If he has the Ice Punch, then he has the Ice Punch. There's not much I can do about that. But Tornadus doesn't do very much against his team. It's really just a Dark Pulse for Jirachi, and Infernape is basically a Jirachi counter right now. So as long as I have Infernape, Tornadus is relatively expendable. Dust Noir is also a good backup option against Jirachi because Shadow Sneak out priorities the Iron Head spam. Okay, so that's fine. From here, I'm actually going to Psychic. He might be just specially defensive, in which case he might not expect the Psychic. Air Slash did 23% with Stab. Psychic has slightly more power and will be slightly more damage, so Psychic should be a 2-hit KO. He is definitely a specially defensive variant. The other option I have is to go into Venusaur and fire off an Earthquake. But Venusaur pretty easily lures in the Cresselia, so I kind of want to stay in and just Psychic. Yeah, so he especially, you know, takes off the Assault Vest, which I'm not necessarily that worried about. I think I'm fine just firing off another Psychic. If he Scalds, you know, that's whatever. Okay, so Psychic. Special defense drop, which is actually great because that'll help the fact that we're going to have Dark Pulse here. We are going to outspeed because even though it says 295 speed, we know he's fully physically defensive. So Dark Pulse is going to have a 20% chance to flinch and just do a ton of damage. Okay, so he gets the Thunder Wave off, which we're fine with. From here, he's definitely going to Moonlight up. So, we could U-turn into Vaporeon and Heal Bell. We could also U-turn and get a slow U-turn off into something like Dust Noir, because Dust Noir is definitely going to have a pretty good matchup against it. I can Will-O-Wisp it and then just start firing off Shadow Sneaks. But I kind of don't want to run myself into Thunder Wave right now. He has the ability to pretty much just spam it right now. So I think I'm just going to U-turn out into Vaporeon. I could also force it out with Infernape. I could do a double U-turn into U-turn. So I'm going to do that. I'm just going to U-turn twice. Go into Vaporeon the second time. Take a drink of my lemonade here. This is going not quite as good as I expected. We did lose Mamoswine, which is huge. But we did take out an Arcanine, which means Will-O-Wisp spam is a legitimate thing to do now. Golurk is weak to the point where I can pretty much just kill it. Yeah, so Psychic doesn't do very much to us. He did get the special defense drop, but we're going to Wish. He's trying to preserve this Cresselia as much as he can. If we stall him out on Moonlights, this is going to go a lot better for us, because we can very easily take care of this ourselves with... we can very easily stall it out with Vaporeon because Wish has more PP and we can Scald for burns and then just protect. So Vaporeon is a pretty good answer to Cresselia, even though it has Thunder Wave, because we can heal Bell the Thunder Waves off. So he does have knockoff here. We don't want to switch into Infernape, as tempting as it is. This is the point where I think Venusaur's a good switch in, because we absolutely don't want to take knockoff on Infernape and lose the Choice Scarf, and then we'd no longer have a counter to Jirachi. Okay, so he predicted the Venusaur correctly. Now at this point, we could go Dusknoir to take the Zen Headbutt, which is inevitably going to be coming, and then try and just bluff it out with Shadow Sneak, because Dusknoir is decently bulky. Leftovers will help negate half of the damage from rocks, and with the defense investment we have, we should be able to tank a decent amount of damage. So I think Dusknoir's fine. He's making some good predicts, so we kind of want to slow down. Assault Vest is interesting. That means he's not Choice Scarf. So at this point, we definitely want to fire off a Will-O-Wisp. Because if he's Assault Vest to tank special hits, he might be like a kind of a physical variant. Yep, so he's going to U-turn out into the Golurk, predicting the Will-O-Wisp, so that was good on him, but he does get burn damage from the U-turn, and Shadow Sneak is still going to do quite a number on him. Yep, Shadow Punch, critical hit, so kind of unlucky for us. At this point, we'll probably just Shadow Sneak to kill, get the leftovers recovery. We'll go up to 58%. I forgot, leftovers is only 6%. We will take the Fake Out here, which means I almost want to go into Venusaur now. He might not Fake Out though. He might go something like Return. Now he is scrappy, of course, so we don't want Dusknoir to go down. That's the big thing, is because we want to have Will-O-Wisp support on things like Jirachi. I think Tornadus is probably fine. Not great. We'd pretty much be sacking Tornadus. Venusaur's a better switch. Takes the Fake Out a lot better. Yeah, we'll have to go Venusaur here. We're not Mega Evolved, which kind of sucks. But Giga Drain does quite a number on him. And after Mega Evolution, we have enough bulk that he can't kill us, and Giga Drain will definitely pretty much knock him out. We could also predict the fact that he's going into Jirachi and try an Earthquake. But I kind of like Giga Drain here if he stays in, which he does. He did bring High Jump Kick. This man, I did not peg him to bring High Jump Kick. We did get the crit with the Giga Drain, but he doesn't know that it probably didn't actually matter. He was at 2/3 health and we are especially offensive. So he might be kind of rattled by the fact that we got the crit. So that might be in our favor. Now, Jirachi's a pretty clear switch in here, as is Cresselia. So Venusaur can't really do a whole lot for the rest of this match except take out that Tentacruel. So I'm actually probably fine with letting Venusaur go down. He might Zen Headbutt here and try and get the flinch. So Dust Noir can't take the hit fantastically, but it can Shadow Sneak most of the health off for something like Infernape to come in. But I kind of really like just sacking Venusaur here and just going for an Earthquake. I really want to. Like, I want to so bad. Because then Infernape can come in. Or even just getting a free switch with Dust Noir. And just Shadow Sneaking. But in that regards, I'd rather just go Vaporeon and, you know, wish it back up. But we'll go Infernape. We'll force him to either sack his Jirachi or take a ton of damage on Cresselia. I'm almost positive Cresselia can take this. We can take it. We get the burn, which was very lucky on our part. At this point, we can Flare Blitz. We'll still actually live, which is actually pretty cool. And we'll be able to just Flare Blitz for extra damage on something like Tentacruel. That burn didn't matter in the end. It really just meant extra damage on Tentacruel, because without the burn damage, there's a chance that I might have killed myself on recoil. I'm not sure though. 12% damage. With the type of recoil that we took with half of his health, there's a chance that recoil could have killed me. So, now Infernape is our Jirachi counter, but we do have Dust Noir as well. Unfortunately, I can't wish him in because Rocks deals 6% damage, and we just take damage from Rocks. Yep, so knockoff failed. From here, Dust Noir can get an easy Shadow Sneak in for the kill, and then Shadow Sneak Jirachi down. So it's really just a matter of if Dust Noir can do the work. Tornadus is going to be kind of neutered, so I think we're going to want to switch into Tornadus after we kill Tentacruel, just because we want to wish Dust Noir back up to 100% if possible. I know for a fact if we can take this hit, we can 2-hit KO Jirachi. That's really the question, is if we can survive a Jirachi hit from something like Zen Headbutt. I'm thinking with him being Assault Vest, he's some type of bulky attacker. He's not going to be able to have the bulk and the attack and the speed. So I'm kind of feeling daring enough to just Shadow Sneak here. And if it turns out that we don't 2-hit kill. So he does get the Iron Head. But Iron Head only did 28.6, so we could, in theory, see Vaporeon going the rest of the distance with Scald. If Iron Head doesn't kill here. Or if it does kill, sorry. So Iron Head does kill. We're going to Vaporeon. Now he does have Assault Vest, which we already know. So we're going to start with Protect to get Leftovers Recovery. So he's got Zen Headbutt, Iron Head, U-turn. His fourth move is probably something unrelated to Vaporeon, so we're going to Wish here. And we're just going to try and get to a point where we can confidently Wish to full health, and then just fire off a Scald and try and burn it. So we get the Wish off, so we're going to do an easy Protect to get to full health. Body Slams the fourth, looking for Paralysis. From here we're going to Scald. It won't kill because of the Assault Vest. Okay, so we definitely, so long as we survive, like any type of Body Slam, Paralysis, or Okay, yep. So we'll take the 3-0. I think my opponent played incorrectly at the end. Going for body slam and hoping to paralyze was cute, and it seems good in theory because once you get the paralysis off, you know, it's 60% chance. So in theory, you could get the 60% chance of paralysis. The problem is if I get paralyzed, there's only a 25% chance that I'll actually not do anything. He would play the odds better with just 60% across the board if he would have just Zen Headbutted. Because I take normal damage from Zen Headbutt, not necessarily from Iron Head. Iron Head's resisted, of course. But with Zen Headbutt, it just flat out 60% chance to flinch and knock you out. He already knows I outspeed. Or he already knows he outspeeds me, sorry. So by body slamming, he actually kind of perhaps threw the game away, because let's say one of those body slams did actually paralyze. I'm already slower, so it's really just instead of trying to go for the 60% flinch, it's trying to go for the 60% flinch and the 25% paralysis. Instead, he's better off just going for flinch after flinch after flinch, because if he can take down Vaporeon, the only thing I had left was Tornadus, and he already knows that's paralyzed, so at that point, para-hexing it down with paraflinches is relatively easy. Um, so, other than that, I think my opponent prepped pretty well. As we got further into the game, he definitely started making the correct predictions, you know, switching into Golurk, predicting the Will-O-Wisp, things like that. Doubling into Jirachi, expecting the Mega Venusaur. Those were all excellent plays, and I give thumbs up to my opponent for that. The fact of the matter is, even though my opponent did try really hard and he did do well in terms of the match, my team just is so good of a matchup compared to his. Like, I didn't have to bring hazards, and hazards did play a part in this match for sure, but um, just like not even bringing things like Latias to counter Mega Lopunny, like not even Scarf Latias, just relying on Scarf Infernape and Mamoswine, uh, they just do so much work. Mamoswine alone has coverage for, like, if I didn't bring Ice Shard and brought Superpower, I would have coverage super effectively against all 12 of his Pokemon, literally. All 12 of them die to a super effective hit from Mamoswine with Expert Belt. It is just absolutely insane. And Infernape has something like 8 out of 12 super effective too. So, good game to my opponent. I apologize, he just didn't have the matchup. I think that's what it came down to. He played well. I think I played fine. I kind of played conservatively and a little safe and played into his predictions, but that's okay because my team allowed me to do that. Other than that, Zayden, it just flat out was a team issue, is what I think it was. So, thank you guys for watching. Uh, we'll take the win, go to 4-2, put ourselves hopefully ahead of the pack a little bit because we are stuck with a bunch of 3-2s. We are still fourth place as of going into this battle, though, so we're definitely still high up on the chart. We're definitely still looking for playoffs, and so long as we can pull a few wins under our belt by the end of the season, we'll do all right. So, thanks again, guys. See you guys next week.